So the first presenter for this evening is artist and teacher Lesia Sochor? Sochor, thank you, who was born in Philadelphia and attended the Philadelphia College of Art. She has lived and painted in Brooks for 30 years and exhibits her work throughout the state and beyond. Her current series, Threads, started in 2009 and was inspired by her mother-in-law's sewing drawer and how sewing connected her to her female ancestors. She's also illustrated 2 children's books and is presenting and spreading the ancient art form of Ukrainian decorated eggs. Please welcome Lesia.
I've painted in series for many years. As you have heard, this series was inspired by my mother-in-law's sewing drawer and her wooden spools. I entitled it Betty in her honor. It's the mother of all the paintings that you're about to see. It begat the whole series. Totem for our mothers. I was working on a totem project with kids, and that shape influenced the size and shape and stacking of the spools in this painting. I love nuance of line, clean edges, and color is hugely significant in this work. I began to think of my female ancestors, my connections to them, and this and the next two paintings will reflect that. I've never painted language never used language in my paintings, and that says my grandmother sewed, reminiscent of the Coates and Clark's insignia. This says my mother sewed, I sew. The simplicity and symmetry of this form holds such a power for me, and I enlarged it so that it could challenge the viewer's perception of common object. Blue is my mother's favorite color. My daughter sews, which she does beautifully, although she hardly has any time now. These were presented together. They were exhibited, the 3 of them together, and they were really powerful because they spoke of generational connections. And to achieve this quality of the silkiness and the sheen of the thread is really important to me throughout. So what began as a exploration of family turned into it evolved into my connection with all of humanity. Literally and metaphorically, we share a common thread. And the continents are there depicted with thread running through. I was raised Byzantine Catholic, and I was surrounded by religious icons. When I worked with this spool, I got such a reverence for this object. I mean, it's such an icon in its own right. So I wanted to depict it as holy object. Cyrillic letters say ikon on either side, which means icon. I became really curious about the history of spools and thread and discovered that spools were made in Milo, Maine, and there was a huge mill there. Conditions were horrible. So I wanted to pay tribute to the workers. This is called Totem for the mill workers. Again, that shape, which I think is so powerful. A friend of mine said she loved home ec, and sewing was her favorite subject. And I said, wow, okay. So I scaled it way down. I started with a 4 by 4 inch painting and put a needle in for utilitarian to make it more utilitarian. Well, unbeknownst to me, 16 paintings later, there it was. Okay. Thread as metaphor. Using green thread, how ideas evolve and grow. It's amazing to me. It's sowing green consciousness in ourselves and the world. McCall's. I actually then started using the pattern paper to paint on. So I was so delighted, surprised at the buttery quality, the textural quality and the transparency that the oil paints made on this paper. I just wanted to do 1 painting as an experiment, and I ended up doing 3. Then I cut the pattern out, laid it on painted canvas. The spool is unraveling. I added sewing necessities, and I believe that despite technology, we have a yearning for tactile process, and this is called process. I had a show at the Aarhus, and I had a journal, and people were invited to share their personal stories and recollections about sewing. And I loved them. Some of them were just so powerful. So I used language as thread to tell the stories. And in the next image you'll see, one of them, I blew it up because it's so beautiful. It says, "My father was a tailor for 70 years and thread was his medium. He created beautiful leather and cloth garments. He died last year and was buried with scissors in pocket." Gorgeous, amazing things that we need to preserve. We need this. We need this history. A Chinese proverb says that an invisible red thread connects all those who are destined to be together. My friend, when she adopted her Chinese baby, got a red thread, and so did the infant. The characters tell that story. I've never used gold, but it worked there. I'm going political here. It's become a mini-series in its own right. Obama was elected, I was proud. Political stalemate, unrest, unite as a nation. We need to pray. Never hurts. And the one I'm working on now is Occupy. White on white on white equals peace. And I'm a product of the 60s, and I needed to use this symbol, which still inspires to this day. Technically, this piece was such a struggle, but oh well, too late. I'm not fighting, I'm sewing. That is written on the actual thread. Needles are my weapons. Green is army green is the background color. Pink, as you know, is such a symbol for all kinds of women's causes. Peace, code pink. Departure from spool. I don't know where this is going. I just finished this. I enlarged the needle. I read that long ago in many cultures, needles were women's prized possessions. We are the stitchers of damaged goods. And this one, wow, is this the end? This is in process. I'm actually working on this. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I don't know about the background color, but I thought I would show you how I work. I really wanted to paint a heart without it being kitsch or cute. I think the heart is the root of who we are. So, wow!